Hi everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our Savory webinar 2020. Like everybody else, we are still developing the best ways of communicating information in the current COVID climate. So please bear with us if some of the technology doesn't run as smooth as it could be. The webinar will begin momentarily. Please consider you might need to adjust the audio during the video showing. My name is Silvia Soragni. I am product manager for the Savory ingredient segment of Lallemand Bio-Ingredients. I'm joined today by my colleagues Mark and Laure.
Hi Sylvia, this is Laure from Apply R&D in Montreal, and I will be happy to answer your questions about our products and applications.
Thank you very much, Laure.
Hello, this is Mark Wright, North America Key Account Manager. Welcome to our Savory Webinar 2020.
Thank you and good morning, Mark. The topics of the day are a welcome to Lallemand, an overview of our business-related facilities, the most recent innovation in the Savory Life product family, and Toravita line presentation with the Toravita 054 launch. You should be able to see at the right side of your screen an interactive panel. Although you will remain in listen-only mode for the duration of the event, please feel free to click on the question mark icon and type in your question there. All questions will be kept anonymous. Please feel free to ask whatever you wish. The presentation are approximately 30 minutes long. To make the most of your valued time, we will answer to selected questions during the live session for the duration of 15 minutes. We will reply to all of them after the webinar in written form. After the question and answer time, I will launch a video with direction and tips for the tasting session. We invite you to take your time and taste later the samples we selected for you. The day after the webinar, you will receive a link with the event recording. I remind the audience that we have today 3 handouts that are available for you to download. 2 of them are related to the degustation that we set for this webinar. And another one is to register for today's session in case you have not done it yet. And with that, I will press play and we'll begin with the presentations.
Welcome to Lallemand. My name is Ruggero Crameri and I am the Lallemand Bio-Ingredients Global Sales and Marketing Director. The objective of this presentation is to give you an overview about Lallemand and about our division. Lallemand Bio-Ingredients is responsible for the production and the sales of inactive yeasts and yeast extracts all over the world. Most of our accounts are active in savory, health food and the biotech industries. Today's webinar focuses on the savory industry. We have a long tradition. The company was founded by Fred Lallemand at the end of the 19th century, and the yeast production started up in 1923. Lallemand is owned by the Chagnon family since 1952, and this gives us a strong financial fundament and a long-term orientation. With over 4,500 employees globally, 47 plants, including 27 yeast, 8 bacteria, and 12 other plants, we have a worldwide presence. It is amazing to see in how many industries yeast and bacteria can be used. On this slide, we give you an overview of the 15 main applications. Lallemand has a global presence with yeast, bacteria, and other plants, as well as research labs and commercial distribution offices located all over the world. Lallemand has currently 27 yeast factories worldwide, 9 yeast plants in North America, 14 in Europe, and 4 in other continents. Most of those factories produce baker's yeast, but several manufacture in parallel also for other applications, such as, for example, wine or brewer's yeast, and other specialties. In red, you see the Lallemand Bio-Ingredients factories focusing on the production of inactive yeast and yeast extracts. Lallemand Bio-Ingredients has a powerful network of 7 factories, 3 in Europe and 4 in North America. Greno and Lundesco built a strong tandem in Denmark, focusing mainly on the production of yeast extract and cellulose for our division. And we will show you later on a video about Salutaguse, where we integrated last year also the former Trenčín factory. Salutaguse is already the world's largest drum-dried inactive yeast factory, and at the end of this year we will start up a new 9th drum dryer line. In Canada, in addition to the new Cornwall factory, we operate in Tara, Ontario, a second production. Lallemand is the clear world leader for inactive Torula yeast with the Rhinelander, Wisconsin and the Hutchinson, Minnesota factories. Greno is a large modern factory producing a broad portfolio of yeast specialties with a competitive economy of scale. In addition to our yeast extract, we deliver large baker's yeast volumes for the Scandinavian market, and Greno remains one of the largest wine yeast factories worldwide. Greno is not only a large factory, but it is also equipped to produce a lot of different specialties. After fermentation, we have larger autolyzers and high efficiency separators to end up with a big spray dryer. A large pilot plant is ideal for the R&D scale up into production. New technologies such as micro and ultrafiltration units allow us to expand our yeast extract portfolio. Our new acquisition in Lundesco has 3 drying lines and is located only 170 kilometers, roughly 100 miles from our large Greno yeast extract plant. With 2 times the nameplate drying capacity of the big yeast extract spray dryer in Greno, we added a lot of flexibility and production reserves. In addition, we have a large warehouse and packaging line space. Our new yeast extract production in Cornwall, Ontario is a large facility, ideally located 70 minutes drive southwest from the Montreal International Airport, on the highway to Toronto and Ottawa, and very close to the US border. We experienced a successful yeast extract production startup, and we focus our sales efforts on US, Canada and Mexico. We can offer the unique combination of NAFTA, USMCA and NGP verified yeast extracts. The 2019 acquisition of the Hutchinson Torula yeast factory from Associated British Food, or OLI-US, was renamed as Minnesota Specialty Yeast. Lallemand has now 3 factories with significant operational synergies in the north of the US. The Dakota Yeast Factory in North Dakota, we have Hutchinson, and on top we have the other Torula yeast factory in Rhinelander, well known as Lake States. And now let's take a virtual tour of our Salutaguse facility in Estonia. On top of 47 yeast and 12 other factories, Lallemand has 8 bacteria plants. The ones in Canada produce mainly for probiotics for human nutrition, Milwaukee in US and Malvern in UK for animal nutrition, Patos de Minas in Brazil and Montevideo in Uruguay for plant care, La Ferté in France for cheese and meat application, and last but not least, Saint-Simon in France is a multifunction bacteria plant. All those factories are important Lallemand Bio-Ingredients internal yeast extract accounts. The Lallemand 10 research and development labs. The largest one where our division is involved is located close to the headquarters in Montreal, and there, as well as in the Tallinn Competence Center, Lallemand Bio-Ingredients has own technical colleagues and scientists working on the development of new products and improvement of existing ones. An important advantage of both R&D centers is to be very close to our factories in Estonia and in Canada. In addition, we have a close cooperation with the scientists of Mascoma. Within this US Research and Development Center in Lebanon, New Hampshire, Lallemand Bio-Ingredients focuses primarily in developing microbial products and applications that enable the efficient and sustainable production of inactive yeast and yeast extracts. Thank you for your time and attention, and I wish you a good webinar continuation.
And thank you very much, Rogério, for your very interesting presentation. I remind attendees that they can download the handouts and ask their question in written form anytime during the session. We go now to the second presentation for this morning, and it's related to the recent innovation in the Savory Life product family. Let's start now.
Welcome to our today's webinar. My name is Christian Heiß and I'm the responsible sales manager for Europe, Middle East, Africa and Asia Pacific. I will tell you more about our yeast saver blocks and their need in plant-based foods. What do plant-based products need and what is the consumer's expectation? First of all, it's authentic taste. It doesn't matter if the product is like fish, like meat, like beef. The taste should be as close to the original. There shouldn't be any off notes. A lot of vegan products or vegetarian products provide bitter tastes, and these bitter tastes should be masked, or grainy smell should be masked as well. They should be high in protein, of high quality protein, and yeast is a very healthy source of protein as well. There shouldn't be additives or very few additives needed, and therefore yeast can also play an important role. Last but not least, a proper texture or bite is expected by the consumers. Lallemand Bio-Ingredients is your taste solution provider. The first product family I want to present to you is named High Life. High Life products contain a natural source of nucleotides. They enhance the taste in kokumi and umami direction and can also bring out taste and round off the flavor. On top of it, High Life can be used to reduce sodium in your products. The second product family I want to talk about today is named Prime Life. Prime Life are our standard yeast extracts. They are light in color, they are clear soluble, they promote mild savory taste and can also round off flavor. They are suitable for all kind of foodstuff. Our product family named Intense Life provides color and taste. The profiles you obtain are mainly roasted, caramelized, and can also be slightly bitter. A typical application would be a gravy sauce, meat products, soups and sauces. Our fourth flavor family is named Savory. Savory provides specific flavor tonation in the following taste directions: soy sauce, roasted beef, boiled fish, and boiled chicken. In terms of declaration, soy sauce and roasted beef type can be declared natural flavoring, whereas the yeast Savory blocks can only be declared flavors. These are the flavor directions: boiled fish and boiled chicken. The fifth flavor family is named whole life. Whole life are inactivated brewers or baker's yeasts. They improve the savory flavor, texture, and creamy mouthfeel, mainly used in snack products and sauces. Some brewers' yeast-based inactive yeasts also enhance cheesy notes. Savor Life SSC. The meaning of Savor Life SSC is soy sauce classic. Actually, it's also a yeast-based flavor that is allergen-free, so it doesn't contain any soy or wheat. It's fully based on yeast extracts. We have taken a market leader product from the supermarket and have copied the taste in our lab by sensory studies, and the outcome is a 6 to 7 times stronger powder form concentrate of a liquid soy sauce. It's very low in salt and very low in sugar. So for taste, salt and sugar can be added at the desired levels. Let me tell you more about Savor Life BEC. BEC stands for Beef Extract Classic. We have taken some real beef meat extract from Brazil and have used our yeast extracts to do a combination of various different yeast extracts to mimic exactly, or as close as we could, the taste of real beef extract. You can see it in the spider graph. Savor Life BEC is low in salt, is allergen-free, is vegan, and declarable as natural flavor or yeast extract. Savor Life CB. Savor Life CB is our boiled chicken flavor that is vegan, it's allergen-free, and is based on yeast extracts and amino acids. We have developed this new product as there is very few real long-boiled chicken flavors on the market. So it's a new specialty. Our latest innovation product is the product Savor Life FB. FB stands for boiled fish flavor. It is also an allergen-free powder with very specific characteristic umami and sweet base note taste of boiled fish. It also provides a very long aftertaste, is low in salt and sugar. I have chosen an application recipe to better explain the flavor and the juiciness impact in a vegan bolognese sauce for you. We have used Toravita 000. This is an inactive torula yeast that provides texture as well as taste and is also preventing water syneresis in the final product. For flavor reasons, The dominant product is Savory BEC. Savory BEC, as explained before, provides a meaty, roasted profile to the end product. And the final taste of this bolognese sauce is very similar or almost equal to the product with meat. Please let me summarize what Lallemand Savory can do for your plant-based products. Lallemand Bio-Ingredients offers natural solutions for taste, color, texture, and nutritional profile. Our solutions help to bridge the gap between plant-based products and animal-derived products. Our ingredients help to reproduce the sensorial properties of meat and dairy for customers seeking juiciness, texture, great taste, and a balanced nutritional profile. We do also offer organic versions. For recipes, please visit our homepage at bio-lallemand.com. Thank you for your attention.
And thank you, Christian, for your presentation. We have organized a few questions in a poll regarding to this presentation. I thank you already in advance for sharing your view with us. It is important and it will help us to address our development according to your needs. So I will now share the first question of the poll. How relevant is natural or natural flavoring declaration for you? I will give you approximately 40 seconds so that you can check which of the proposed answer is most suitable to picture your situation today. Okay, now close this question and we can go to the next. Next question is, which savor block development would you like to see as following? Again, we give you approximately 40 seconds to select your preferred answer. Thank you very much. I see already some directions in your, let's say, wish list. 5 seconds and I will close this poll. Okay, it's now closed. Thank you very much for sharing your view. We can move now to the next presentation, and I can't wait to know more about the Toravita 054.
Welcome to the Lallemand Bio-Ingredients Savory webinar for 2020. This is Mark Wright, your Senior Key Account Manager with Lallemand Bio-Ingredients. Today we're going to discuss the use of Torula and the brands of Toravita and Lake States, both of which Lallemand proudly owns. Talking about today's use of Torula products in our food, I'd like to discuss our brand, Toravita. Torula in itself has been manufactured for over 100 years. During the height of World War I and World War II, and the lack of meat protein, yeast became a viable source during that time. The German Waldorf Torula yeast production was exported to Switzerland in 1943. Factories were built in the US and in Russia after World War II. Lallemand now owns 2 factories producing Torula inactive yeast, wholesale yeast, and autolyzed specialties, all in North America. Torula, Toravita, Bacon are product lines manufactured in our Hutchinson, Minnesota facility, and Lake State yeast is produced at our Rhinelander location. Here you'll see our plant in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, where the brand Lake States is produced. It's the oldest of our 2 facilities. It was established in 1953. Here you'll see Minnesota Specialty Yeast, our most recent acquisition in January of 2019. At this facility is where we manufacture the Toravita and Bacon product line. The Hutchinson, Minnesota facility, where the brand Toravita is produced, offers the widest range of product availability. The classics have been around for over 40 years. Toravita 000 offers a super clean taste and additional savory characteristics. Toravita 001 is used in meat applications for enhancing or bringing out meat flavors, as well as mouthfeel and texture in sauces. Toravita 027 does a wonderful job in bringing in those savory poultry characteristics along with the dark meat notes of pork. This improves the overall flavor quality. Toravita 052 is a wonderful flavor carrier. It's rich in flavored peptides and also is extremely light in color, working out in those dairy applications for seasoning blends or just where a savory flavor note is required. For your low sodium product development needs, under the Toravita 029 spray dried, this is an autolyzed yeast that contains potassium chloride. We have found that potassium chloride offers a bitter note, but however, it does allow you to lower the sodium, still have the salty taste, but with the autolyzed yeast, it helps balance out that impact. In meat applications, we've identified that Torula yeast plays an important role. It provides the meat processors an effective flavoring ingredient, at the same time as offering benefits such as water binding, purge, and fat binding. We have found that Toravita 033 is low in sodium, but also provides this wonderful water binding and stability for phosphate-free preparation. This product is used around the world in different emulsified meats. For projects where acid is needed to balance out the formula, but not desired from a flavor profile, and vinegar is a contributor to that acid, Toravita 600 does a great job in masking over the acidic bite. However, Toravita 604 improves flavor in cultured dairy products and creamy salad dressings. This works wonders in hiding the lactic acid bite. With projects where you have a desired smoky note required, but no smokehouse available, I would suggest smoked Torula under the Bacon line, SFBN being the most mild of the 2 smoke, and Bacon HFBN, which contributes a bacon-like smoke flavor. When looking at the flavor impacts, and you have impact versus lingering, you have the body of Tora Vita 000 and Tora Vita 030 having the longest lasting lingering effect. You take a product like Tora Vita 027 and the flavor impact is much stronger earlier and then lingers a little less. When you use a high prime nucleotide product, your enhancement function is early and short and does not linger. The benefits of Torula is Torula yeast is a clean flavor carrier for snacks, marinades, herb blends, and spices. It is a clean label ingredient that can provide texture, emulsification, and water binding properties. Torula contains more cell wall polysaccharides compared to Saccharomyces cerevisiae, resulting in higher water binding, viscosity, and emulsification properties. An alternative food for phosphate replacement as well as an MSG alternative. A nutritionally valuable ingredient rich in protein, an excellent masking agent for our plant-based meat programs and other acid products, and a mouthfeel provider where pulpy sensation in tomato sauce is an example. Our latest addition to the Tora Vita product line is Tora Vita 054. At the beginning, this was developed to be an alternative to remove I plus G and or MSG off your ingredient statement. It is a very powerful contributor to the umami taste, allowing the seasoning and the flavors to have balance in the middle to keep that flavor curve nice and balanced. It is an autolyzed yeast. The one interesting fact about this is the protein level is high as 53%. Tora Vita 054 was produced in our Hutchinson, Minnesota facility. It has certifications of both kosher and halal and is certified GMO free and gluten free. It's packed in a 50-pound paper poly bag and is used somewhere between 0.02 and 1% of the finished product. Tora Vita 054 enhances the savory umami notes in meat products, soups, sauces, and rice dishes, along with savory snack chips. It contains all the savory potentiation to balance the finished seasoning blend. It is also a valid solution where sodium reduction has been reduced in formulas. Unami, the fifth basic taste, gives food a longer lasting taste while working in a synergistic with the other basic taste. Unami flavor compounds the ability to improve palatability and increase perceived saltiness. Unami compounds of Tora Vita 054 make it a natural alternative to food additives such as MSG and I plus G. The product can be declared as natural flavoring and can be used in many different savory recipes. The overall sensation given by Torula 054 is very rich and versatile, like all the natural flavor boosting foods, cheese and tomatoes and mushrooms. Introducing Tora Vita 054, an application example of savory crispy chicken. A small percentage of Tora Vita 054 boosts and rounds existing flavors of the savory Cody's seasoning. You'll notice that the recipe consists of the use of 0.30 in formula. Well, this is bringing our introduction and our presentation to an end. Ask for a sample today of Toravita 054, and we'll get one in the mail to you right away. Thank you again for attending. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Mark, for this insightful presentation. We have again prepared a few questions in a poll related to the Toravita range and these applications. We would like to know more about your running projects. So my first question to the audience would be, are you working on a project that requires rounding and balances of your seasoning blend? Again, we will have around 40 seconds to collect your answers. This will help us to quickly react and support your R&D team in your projects. Five seconds to go, sorry, and then we have a second question for you related to the Toravita. So I now close this question, and my next question is related to the ability of some products of the Toravita range to control purge. So are you working to control purge in processed meat? We have a solution, so we are really interested to work with you and to support to have an optimization of your product in case of need. Okay, thank you very much for joining the poll. We have now some minutes, around 15 minutes, to answer to the questions we have received so far, and we invite you to ask for more questions in case of need. And later this morning, we will watch the video prepared by the R&D colleague to guide you in the tasting session of the product we selected for you. So we open now the question and answer part. A question to Mark and eventually could be supported by Greg. So do your yeast and yeast extract qualify to make a natural claim in Canada and the US?
In the US, you can declare if your project's under FDA as a natural flavor, but if your project is governed under USDA, you have to declare it accordingly, either as inactive yeast, autolyzed yeast, or you can declare it as Karula yeast.
Thank you very much. And Greg, could you support with Canadian rules here?
The Canadian government is a little more critical about terminology of natural. So in this case, we would have to be more selective about which particular product we're talking about and its qualifications. So we'd have to take that separately.
Okay, so we will be able to interact with the attendee that asked the question later. Thank you very much, both Mark and Greg. I have a question for Laure. Would the Savory FB work well in a chowder application to enhance clam?
Thank you for your question. We never tried the Savory FB in that application, but I would say that with its specific flavor donation of base note of boiled fish and its long aftertaste, the product will have an impact on the overall fishy taste of your recipe.
Thank you very much, Laure. And of course, if the answer is for the attendee that asked the question a bit short, I mean, the attendees are very welcome to follow up with the sales representative or R&D according to the type of question. We have another question that in a way is related to the US market and the FDA, USDA regulations. So is Tora Vita 054 natural flavor label is good for FDA only or USDA also?
This is a very good question, and thank you for asking. This is for FDA only. Under USDA, it must be declared as autolyzed yeast.
Thank you very much, Mark. Another question, it's more on the consumer perspective. So are there benefits, if I understand well the question, of labeling torula yeast versus using nutritional yeast as an example? Again, the question is for Mark, but I believe that also Greg could share his view.
The opportunity of labeling torula in your ingredient statement is because through the species of the organism, torula has been identified all the way back into the early 50s as a ingredient that you can label as species. You can also label it as inactive yeast as well, because that's exactly what it is. All the activity from a yeast grown has been inactivated, so you can also declare it that way as well.
Thank you, Mark. Super clear. Greg, do you have, I mean, a view regarding nutritional yeast versus torula yeast labeling? That maybe like a Canadian market overview?
As Mark identified, the torula yeast does have a reference as being an inactive yeast. However, it does hyphenate the fact that it's a torula strain, different than what would be deemed conventional inactive yeast that we often refer to as nutritional yeast. So in Canada, the proper declaration would be inactive yeast and hyphenate torula, whereas conventional inactive yeast, which is a Baker strain, is simply referred to as an inactive yeast in Canada. So I hope that fulfills the answer.
Thank you very much. Very clear from my perspective. I hope it's also clear for our attendees. But as said, we can also follow up later. I invite our attendees to ask their questions. I believe for the moment we answered to all the questions we received in written form. But we still have some time. So what I would suggest is that we can watch now the video from Applied R&D to guide us into the tasting session. And we can have still sometimes later if we collect more questions in the meantime. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the demo section of Lallemand Bio-Ingredients webinar. I'm Signe from Applied R&D and I will guide you through the tastings of this seminar. In this session, you will have the chance to taste and compare a selection of savory products in simple applications. Before tasting, make sure you have enough space to prepare and time to view all the instructional videos. By now, you should have received or will shortly receive a demo kit from Lallemand. In this box, you will find samples and supplies for 2 tasting sessions. Pick out the ones for session 1 this time. A pair of scissors will be handy for opening the sample sachets. For preparation, you will also need access to clean drinking water. If tap water in your area has any kind of taste, please use bottled water. Make sure you also have a possibility to boil or heat water. For this, you could use a kettle, microwave, or just boil water on a stove. Hot water from coffee machine is not recommended because it may have a coffee taste. It is also good to have some regular drinking cups close by. Next, you will see a video that will guide you through the preparations. Please continue with this presentation after watching the video in order to get the instructions on tasting methods. You can always come back and review the video later. Let's start with the tasting. With the first broth demo tasting, we are comparing standard yeast extract with Savory CB. Please taste them in the order shown on screen and notice the more powerful white meat boiled chicken flavor of Savory. With the second broth demo tasting, we're tasting the difference that Savory BEC can make. It really gives the soup roasted beef profile while being totally vegan. With the next demo, you can enjoy Savory SSC in a simple formulation with salt and sugar. It is a perfect alternative to soy sauce and it's allergen-free. Next, we have Toravita 54, which is a well-balanced flavor donator. Its sweet umami profile can be used in many tasty applications, from Asian food staples to fried foods. The overall flavor sensation is very rich and versatile. It gives umami flavor and enhances the natural flavors in food. Its effect is comparable to natural flavor boosting foods like cheese, tomatoes, and mushrooms. Thank you for listening. For more recipes and ideas, visit our homepage bio-lallemand.com.
And thank you very much, Signe, for preparing this presentation with tips and the video that is very supportive. We have not received further questions so far, so maybe I will take a few minutes to anticipate the topics of tomorrow. Tomorrow we will have an insight on inactive yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae and Torula species. We will learn more about the masking properties of our ingredients, especially applied in the plant-based food area. And we will see the proposed solution for sodium reduction. I remind attendees that if they are not yet subscribed to the session number 2, you are still in time. If you need help, you can also send me an email at info@bio-lallemand.com. Regarding the tasting session, related to this presentation, you should have received a box with samples. As some of the attendees subscribed later last week or even during the weekend, some of the boxes might be still on their shipment time, so you will receive them very quickly if you don't have yet them. Okay, we can wait a few minutes if more questions are placed using the question icon. Attendees can type their questions. Okay, it seems the presentation were quite clear, and of course we are always available. The R&D team, myself, the sales representative for your area will be very happy to support you for further questions. And I thank you again for joining to the first session of the Savory webinar today. Once I end the session, a survey will appear on your screen. Please take 1 minute to answer to these short questions for us. And if you have suggestions or ideas for the next webinars, please contact us at info@bio-lallemand.com. I would like to thank again our panelists today, very helpful to answer the questions that we received during the live session. So Laure, Mark, Greg, thank you very much for your support.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you.
So we are looking forward to meeting you again tomorrow. Thank you very much, and we wish you a very pleasant time.